Welcome students to another lesson. Our topic for today is winding up of a company voluntary by the members. So before that we will see what is voluntary winding up of the company. Now voluntary winding up of the company is entirely different from compulsory winding up. Now voluntary winding up of the company is either done by the members or by the creditors of the company without any interference by the tribunal, as in compulsory winding up of the company. Now the company may be wound up voluntarily when the articles of association says that the duration of the company has expired, or there is some event which has happened due to which company has to wound up, and this has to be done by passing the ordinary resolution. The other reason for the company to wind up voluntarily can be any cause for whatever the reason, and for that the company has passed a special resolution because the company is prosperous and still they want to wind up their operations. So, in that case a special resolution has to be passed, which is written in section 304 of Companies Act 2013, and this voluntary winding up commences from the date of passing of resolution set by section 308. Now, what is members voluntary winding up? As we know that voluntary winding up is either by the members or by the creditors, in this lesson we will see members voluntary winding up. So, when the members voluntarily wind up the company, it is only done when the company is solvent, and this initiation has to be taken by the members and entirely managed by them. And for that a committee of inspection is not appointed, neither no meeting of creditors is held. So, for that, in order to proceed further, the company has to declare the solvency. For that, a declaration of solvency has to be obtained. Under section 305, it says that where it is proposed to wind up a company voluntarily, the directors or majority of those directors at a meeting of board make a declaration which also has to be verified by the affidavit that the company has no debts and they are not liable to pay, and they will be liable to pay its debts in full within the period of 3 years from the commencement of winding up as specified in the declaration. So, these provisions has to be declared in the declaration of the solvency. So, and if the debts are not paid or provided within the period which is stated, then it is presumed to have not have any reasonable grounds. So, they shall be then liable to imprisonment for term which may exceed to 3 to 5 years with fine, or fine which may extend to rupees 50,000 or 3 lakhs, or with both. This is written in section 305 under subsection 4. Now, where the declaration, this declaration of solvency is duly made and delivered also, such winding up will be called by the members voluntary winding up, and where the declaration is not duly made, this such declaration will be called as creditors voluntary winding up. Now, let us see the provisions which are applicable to members voluntary winding up. The first one is appointment of the liquidator, which is in section 310. Now, the company in a general meeting, they will have to appoint one or more liquidators for the winding up of the affairs of the company, and for this they will appoint the liquidator, and this liquidator will distribute the assets and liabilities of the dispense the assets and liabilities of the company. So, the company will also fix the remuneration of such liquidator, and in case the remuneration is not fixed, he will not take charge of his office, and this remuneration can also not be increased in any circumstances whatsoever. So, the liquidator appointed at the meeting at which the resolution for voluntary winding up is passed. Now, the next provision is board's power to seize. This is under section 313. On the appointment of liquidator, all the powers of the board and managerial personnel will come to an end. Now, once the liquidator is appointed, the powers of the board and managerial performance will come to an end, except in the case when it is said in general meeting or the liquidator sanctions their continuance. In that case, they can exercise their power. So, for this, a resolution for voluntary winding up does not automatically dismiss all the servants, but if it take place because of the company is insolvent, it does not operate as a discharge. So, the next provision is power to fill vacancy in the office of liquidator under section 311. Now, where the vacancy for whatever cause occurs in the office of liquidator, the company will have to fill that vacancy. The liquidator will have to fill the vacancy in the company, and this has to be subject with the agreement with the creditors also. The general meeting, this general meeting for the filling of vacancy, it can be called by contributor or by any liquidator. Let us see the next provision, which is notice of appointment of liquidator to registrar. Now, when the company has appointed the liquidator, the company will also have to give the notice to the registrar also. So, the notice to the registrar should be given for the appointment of liquidator and also for every vacancy which is occurring in the office of liquidator, and with the names of liquidator which are appointed to fill every vacancy. And this notice shall be given by the company within 10 days of the event which it relates, that means the appointment of liquidator. So, if any default is there, it will be charged with a fine up to 1000 for every day during which the default continues. Now, next provision is duty of the liquidator to inform the assessing officer. Now, every liquidator of the company being wound up is to give notice of his appointment as liquidator to the assessing officer, and this assessing officer must have jurisdiction to assess the income of the company within 30 days of the appointment. And this has to be noted that official liquidator is also the principal liquidator of the company for the income tax assessment purposes. Now, let us see the next provision for voluntary winding up of company by members. This is general meeting at the end of each year. This is under section 316, that the company's liquidator must report quarterly for the progress of winding up of the company in the manner and form as prescribed by the Companies Act to the members and creditors, and shall also call a meeting of members and creditors and as and when it is necessary, and at least one meeting of such creditors and members in every quarter must be held, and this is held for the progress in order to tell them about the progress of winding up of the company in whatever the form or manner which is prescribed. So, if the liquidator fails to do so, then he shall be punishable with the fine for each failure which may extend to rupees 10 lakh. And the last provision is final meeting and dissolution, which is under section 318. When the affairs of the company fully wound up, the liquidator will have to perform the duties, which is, first one is that a liquidator will have to keep a record of the account of the winding up, where he will show the manner the property has been disposed of and how the winding up has been conducted. Other thing that liquidator will do is call a general meeting of a company where he will show the accounts that is made by or prepared by him, and this meeting is the final meeting of the company where this notice for this meeting shall be given by the advertisement, where the time, place and the object of the meeting will be specified, and this has to be done not less than 1 month before the meeting is advertised for, sorry, the advertisement for the meeting is in the official gazette. And also the advertisement for this meeting has to be given in some local newspaper where the registered office of the company is situated. And if the liquidator fails to do so, the fine for this is the fine for this can extend to 1 lakh rupees. And within 1 week after the meeting, the liquidator will have to send the copy of accounts to the registrar and the official liquidator of the meeting. So, thank you very much for watching.